defence. They don't want back kick.
Just placing it below. Brilliant piece of improvisation. Here's Judd, and Judd drives away for his second of the night. Carlton massacring Richmond.
Season 2009 could not have got off to a worse start for the Tigers. Ben Cousins hurt, a humiliating thumping at the hands of their arch enemy by 83 points in front of a huge MCG crowd and a massive television audience. The beginning of the end for coach Terry Wallace. That night there was absolutely nowhere to hide for the Tigers. There was Brett Delidio in the rooms after the game that night. And here he is today, Luke Darcy, reminding himself to run hard.
Yeah, a lot of players like to do that as a bit of a reminder. He runs hard forward quarters, but I think there's an issue with how hard he runs back into defence.
Well, it is redemption time for the Tigers, so they would still be sticking in their crawl that one.
It has to. It was such a humiliating result in round one. You cast your mind back to the build-up. A lot of us had Richmond penciled in the 8. I have to put my hand up there and say that I thought that was going to happen. And then it was the beginning of the end, as you said. Terry Wallace is gone. Jay Rawlings now the interim coach. And they would have spoken about it during the week. Have they got the talent to reverse the result? We'll find out today.
Welcome to the MCG. It is round 15. It is Richmond up against Carlton. A not negotiable one for Carlton today, Luke. They must win.
Absolutely. They would have penciled this in. We know where they sit on the ladder. It's so important to their chances to win this game today.
There's the captain who's had a pretty tough job this year of Chris Newman. Ben Cousins, 22 disposals, 3 clearances. Gee, I hope he goes on again next year. He gets another opportunity. He's such a good player.
Played 8 games. I think everyone in the footy world would love to see Ben Cousins go on, but a new coach, does he go the youth option and leave Ben Cousins out? Time will tell.
Big setback for the Blues today. Santandro Halpert, who's been in really good form and has helped Brendan Favola the last couple of weeks, is a late withdrawal. So there's a little bit of a setback for Carlton. But as I said, no excuse today. They must get the 4 points.
Yeah, Joe Anderson, the player that will come in for his first game in 2009. I've loved watching Santandro over the last few weeks, taking some strong marks and a big presence. As always, we're going to have a lot of focus on Brendan Favola, who has kicked a lot of goals, but he's still inconsistent sometimes in his effort.
Well, let's have a look at the ladder as it stands at the moment. It's such a tight squeeze after 1 and 2, isn't it?
I think Carlton this year, a final 8 position was almost something that they needed to do for Brett Ratton to feel as though he'd advanced where this side's at. Lose today, a lot of pressure goes on to the Carlton Footy Club.
What a last quarter he had last week. Basically single-handedly got his team over the line, Christian, averaging 27 disposals, 6 clearances a game this year, leading so many categories in the competition.
There's their matches to come, Sydney at Etihad Stadium, Collingwood at the MCG, North Melbourne, and then Geelong. So they've got a tough month coming up. Judd last week was so good to watch, as was this man called Bryce Gibb. I love the way he plays.
Averaging 26 touches a game in season 2009. You touched on Favola. He's due for a big one, isn't he?
He's kicked 46 goals for the year, and I think you look at that in round 15, you say he's been reasonably consistent, but his good games have been fantastic and his poor games have been really ordinary, and that causes coaches trouble. He needs to